Side control is hard to get, easy to lose. When I need, okay, so what is guard passing is I gotta get past his feet, his knees, his hips, hip line, belt line, chest, head, and control balance between the head and the hips, okay? So let's say I get here, 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 and I'm passing both guard as usual. I get the side control, but the problem is, in this situation, I'm about as close to his legs as I can be without being in a half guard, okay? I'm literally just a few steps from being either in an open guard or in a half guard. So one thing that is very important for you to be able to do is I'm connecting my right hip with his right hip, and my right elbow is controlling his far hip, okay? So they're kind of wedged in. So when he tries to move, I can move with intent to keep him flat so that his frames push me up and pin him more. What I don't want is this, because his frames will enable him to move laterally, and that's not good for me. So whenever you get into any form of position, you first have to establish control before you begin to proceed into any form of attack. Because if I'm not controlling him and I begin to attack him, there's a good chance I'm going to lose this position. And the position that I'm going to lose is going to be either an open guard or a half guard, or maybe, you know, a guard itself, okay, close guard. But what I want you guys to understand is my objective is to keep him flat, okay? So that as he's here struggling, I'm controlling his head. I need to move his head off alignment with the spine so that he'll need to adjust his hips. So I'm balancing, okay? Hip, head, hip, head, hip, head. And I keep pushing myself forward with the feet that you'll see here. Okay? And I'm always driving laterally here, okay? So now I'm driving my hip into him, okay? So that I can control his hips. In any like worst case scenario, or in a best case scenario, as he starts moving and he makes a good like movement with his hips out, I can begin to roll my hips, switch my base, and move it back if I want to, and just keep rolling on him like so, where I can break down this frame right here, okay? Now, if he gets here, I would just begin to go here, because if I want him to pull it out, he should be able to pull it out here. This is a bait just for him to pull it out. Yeah, right here. And then I go back to the side control here, okay? My objective is to attack him, okay? And one thing that you guys gotta understand is I like to go for submissions that have a higher degree of difficulty because it looks fancier on video. But look, if I'm here and I go for a cheap key lock right here, okay? That's great, but I don't feel a sense of accomplishment. I want something that's got a higher degree of difficulty. However, when he's kind of flat here, my submissions are a bit limited here. So what I like to do is, I like to get him north-south, but I want him on his side, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get here, okay? I prefer him on the other side, on his right side, yeah. So here, and I keep pulling this arm here as I get here, and we get here. Okay, this is what I call the north-south matrix. And the shoulder, neck, head is like a saddle. So you sit on the saddle and attack the top arm. All right? So we're gonna reverse it. If we go. So we're here. So as I'm constantly controlling him, I gotta be dynamic. If you're here, you're not dynamic on your knees, and there's no pressure on him. Okay? If I'm here, as he begins to move, I can begin to move, and I can get north, south. Let's say we're here. Okay. Oftentimes, they'll pull their hand through, because that's normally what happens. So when you're here, typically he's going to defend